Hello YouTube, Mike at Carbonite Lab back again with part 4 of Star Wars RPG, basically choosing a character. So one thing I forgot to mention, and I'll touch on it briefly, is that you have the ability to multi-class. So if you decide that you want to start off as a Fringer and then multi-class as a soldier, you can do so. You have that ability to jump back and forth between the classes, picking up each of those special attributes along the way. But let's say that you've been building your character and you've been in the campaign and you got to like a point where you're like 5th or 6th level, maybe even 7th level. You're getting up there and you're getting pretty powerful, but you want something more. Well, that's where prestige classes come in. And towards the back of the book in the game mastering section, at least in this book in particular, they talk about prestige classes. And prestige classes are like regular classes except that they have requirements that must be met before one can attain the class. One additional change, notably, when a character multi-classes, he adds the defense bonus to all of his other classes, and then subtracts 2 for each additional class after that. When it gets to a prestige class, you keep that, but you get more benefits because you become more specialized. So real quick, we're going to go through some of these prestige classes. You can become a bounty hunter, and they show a picture of a Quarren bounty hunter here. But a bounty hunter is a easy thing to transfer into when you become a soldier or something along those lines, but you get a lot of bonuses that are for like sneak attack or target bonuses, so you become really good at basically finding your prey and getting your shots off. You become a really, really good soldier. Another prestige class that they're going to offer here is a crime lord, which is actually a really, really cool prestige class because you get all those resources and contacts and benefits like you did with the noble, except you take it to the next level, a little bit darker. You can actually get minions, for example. So you get like a certain amount of minions that follow you around. You can inspire fear. You get exceptional minions, which is even more minions that are really good at what they do. So Crime Lord's a pretty cool prestige class as well. You can even go darker, and you can be a dark side devotee, which gives you all those, kind of like a force user that just got dark. So your force sensitive stuff goes up. Here's a dark side devotee, showing a picture of him here. Dark side talisman, force training, dark side skill emphasis, force weapon, and it goes on and on from there. Your force weapon damage goes up. So it's almost like you're a dark Jedi or a Sith, but not quite. You could be a dark side marauder, which is the equivalent of like a Jedi Knight. So you become a dark side Jedi, so to speak, but you're based on combat. So you get all those special feats that help you with combat. Another prestige class had the opportunity to have a character evolve in one of these as an elite trooper. An elite trooper becomes so deadly in a group. I like this picture they got here. I think this armor, the suit of armor, is something that you see in like Shadows of the Empire. Luke actually has to don one of these suits of armor to sneak into Prince Zizor's throne room, I believe. But the elite trooper is uncanny when it comes to his ability to get into a room. Let's say you walk into a room. This character we had in my campaign, quick story. He walks into a room. There are 12 other guys in this room. They all have blasters pointing at him. The elite trooper walks in by himself ahead of the rest of the group. Walks in, says, "Hey guys, what's up? You want to party?" And then just proceeds to unleash holy hell on the entire group, kills everything in the room, takes a total of like 10 hit points himself, walks out, goes back to the rest of the group, says, "Okay, the room's clear, we can go through there now." So the elite trooper is amazing when it comes to combat. You can even, if you're going the Jedi Force using route, you can become a Jedi Ace, somebody who's really good at starship operation, but a Jedi. So a Jedi Ace would have been kind of like Anakin. He was a Jedi Guardian and Jedi Knight, but he was really a Jedi Ace as well because he was amazing inside of a starship. A Jedi Investigator, which is like the next way to go when you're a Jedi Consular. You're more of the investigative type. You have more inquiry. You don't really resort to violence unless you really, really have to, but you become the guy who is sent out to find out what's going on a certain planet and report back to the council. There goes, of course, is a picture of a Jedi investigator, a Keldor, investigator, to be quite honest. Certain things that they'll get increased lightsaber damage if they have to, profile, target bonus, things like this. So again, it helps them narrow their focus to become a better investigator. And eventually, you can take the role of a Jedi Master. So you can work your way all the way up from Padawan to a Guardian, Jedi Knight, and then eventually get to the point of a Master. I like this Ithorian Jedi Master. It's pretty cool. Got the red robes and his massive head going on. These guys are really cool, which makes complete sense. Jedi are very, very kind and thoughtful, and Ithorians definitely fit that role. So Jedi Master, you get all the additional benefits that you previously have in the Force using class, except you're taking it to the next level. So you become even more badass. You can increase your lightsaber damage, more bonus feats, more deflect, more defense with the lightsaber. So Jedi Master is something you can attain. You can even become an officer if you choose to go that route, like more of a military. You start off as a soldier, eventually, make the rank of an officer. And you get special abilities like leadership bonuses, requisition supplies, tactics, uncanny survival, improved tactics. So officer's a pretty cool thing as well. Starship Ace, just like you would think. There we go. We got a picture of a pilot there. Starship Ace, you get Starship Defense. So you get to use your defense bonus whenever you're operating a spaceship. Familiarity, +1, and then +2, +3, +4, +5. Really, it gives you the ability to jump in any ship, whether it was, you just hopped in it because you stole it, or you've never been in one before, and familiarize yourself with it and be able to take off and fly it without really too many negatives. Starship Evasion, again, just increases your ability to be effective in the cockpit of whatever starship it is that you're going to fly. So those are some of the prestige classes, and it just gives you a glimpse at what you can do with your character. Now, it doesn't mean that these are what you have to go with. I had a character in a previous campaign who was very skilled at the art of oration and negotiation. He lives for that, and that's what he really, in real life, this is how he acts. But we actually designed a prestige class for him, and it was a mix of the crime lord and the officer. And we decided to call that prestige class the Diabolical Mastermind. So working with your GM, if you don't see a prestige class you like, you can always create one. As long as you get the okay from the GM and you're willing to make it so that way it's not super uber powerful, you got to have some chink in the armor at some point. So those are prestige classes. Lastly, we're going to touch on this really quick because a lot of people forget about that. You have the ability to become a droid, or not become a droid, but play a droid player. So it's not like you're stuck playing, an organic species. You can choose to be a droid hero for a player. As a matter of fact, this black boxes here, they go over, how to create a droid hero. It says, if you're going to do so, you got to have the GM's approval, because let's face it, there weren't that many droids that were independent in the Star Wars universe. Most droids were owned by somebody else. You have a droid like R2-D2, even C-3PO, very independent and given a lot of latitude to go out and do stuff, but yet they were still owned by somebody. So the different types of droids, this is where it gets interesting. All the droids that you've seen in the movies or read about in the books, you get the opportunity to play some of those. There's a series of degrees is what they call them, so we'll go over these real quick. A first degree droid, they're effectively mobile computers, and they can be programmed to solve scientific problems quickly and accurately and put those solutions to effective use. These droids are often found in roles relating to physics, mathematics, and even medicine. Examples would include 21B, the medical droid, and the ITO integration or interrogation droid. So you have the ability to play one of those droids if you choose so. And of course, they have their ability modifiers here as well. +2 to intelligence, -2 to strength, -2 to charisma. Professional class, typically it would be a diplomat or an expert at something. Second degree droid, they're often found in the engineering and technical science fields. Like first degree droids, their main function is solving complex equations specifically related to their field. They generally are equipped with appendages and control ports to allow them to interact with other machines. Examples would include the popular R2 series astromech droid, the one everybody knows, R2-D2. Astromech droids are probably the most common second-degree droid. And again, you have your typical modifiers to go with it. It gets +2 to Dex, +2 to Intelligence, -4 to Strength. Astromech droids are awesome because they are like your computers that know how to fix stuff, especially in the ship. Really cool to have. Third-degree droids are programmed to perform social services. So translation, protocol, teaching, housekeeping, and secretarial work. So many are also programmed to act as controllers to complex systems and are found in spaceports and emergency service stations throughout the galaxy. Most widely recognized third-degree droids are the 3PO protocol droid and the MTD series translator droid. So just like what you're thinking, you got they don't have to be a bipedal type droid. They could be any kind of droid, but they're, as far as their look, but that's ideally what they're suited to. They're going to get a +2 to Charisma, but -to Strength and Wisdom. Professional class typically is a diplomat. We look over here to a fourth-degree droid. Fourth-degree droids are nearly all employed in security or military applications. They are generally quick, often strong, and not usually very intelligent, but almost always requiring supervision for tasks outside their core programming, which includes the usual prohibition or killing sentience. Classic examples include Bactoid Combat Automated B1, the battle droid, the Archaead Viper series probe droid, and the ES-22 series assassin droid. So these are going to be your military droids, like it says. These are your combat droids, your fourth degrees. And again, of course, they get their abilities as well. +2 to Dex, +2 to Constitution, -4 to Intelligence. Profession is typically an expert or a thug. You could view the battle droids from the Confederacy or the Trade Federation. Those guys can be considered thugs. That's funny. Fifth-degree droids. They're common laborers of the galaxy. They're cheap, predictable, and in most cases, disposable. They're mainly employed for carrying heavy loads or performing repetitive tasks. Typically, examples include the ubiquitous ASP series, or ASP droid, found in many starports, and the J9 worker drone. So their modifiers would be, +2 to Strength, but -2 to Wisdom, -2 to Charisma. Again, their professional class would be an expert. It is what they do. Now, things to keep in mind if you're going to decide to play a droid is that most droids are going to be programmed with limitations to what they can do. The main example, the most important one, is most droids have it in their programming that they cannot kill a sentient being. And that is put in there probably way before, droids really became, a household thing in Star Wars. So that way it didn't turn on its master and kill it. That doesn't mean